Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everyone. Episode 356 of the Thumbstick Athletes Podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
I'm Will.
Go ahead,
Should
Corey.
I say I'm Corey? Do I
Yeah,
still do that?
of course.
All right. I'm Corey.
You're part of the original cast. You're grandfathered in.
There you go.
So-
I like that.
To be honest, I couldn't remember if Corey went before or after me.
I don't
couldn't remember
I don't remember the order either, to be honest with you. It's been so long. But yeah, Corey is joining us. We are going to be talking about Frostpunk. I know Corey played a ton of Frostpunk, including one very late night, right?
At least one very late night.
Okay. I played a fair amount of Frostpunk myself, so that's going to be our main segment for the day. Anything anyone wants to tease for later on in the episode?
I also played a good amount of Into the Breach.
Uh-huh.
And SteamWorld Heist. I played some SteamWorld Heist.
That's on my list of games that I'm going to play pretty soon here. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I'm still cranking away at Ni no Kuni 2.
Mm-hmm. That's a long one, right?
Yeah, I think I'm almost 40 hours in or something like that. So
Nice. What about you, Will? Anything to tease?
To be honest, no. Once I got back from Florida, I realized how little I was ready for my last week and a half of school. So I've just been going crazy with school.
Gotcha. Finish strong, you know?
Oh, I will not be finishing strong, but that's all right. I will be passing, and that's all that I care
Yeah,
about.
you're going to be limping into the finals.
Well, real quick, hear this. Because I have an internship next week, I have to finish everything this week. So starting on Tuesday, I had a chemistry quiz. On Wednesday, I had a chemistry test. Today was my math final, but I had to get that pushed. And tomorrow, I have a chemistry quiz, lab due, and then a final. So it's pretty much humanly impossible to study for all this. So I moved my math test to next week, and I'm just going to take it the last day, like late into the day.
Nice.
So I've just been so far behind.
Yeah. Okay. As for me, for teasing later on in the episode, I'm going to be talking more Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I will also be talking about a little mobile game. Only talking about it because I guess to make people aware that it even exists. Dragon Ball Legends.
Ooh.
You guys familiar with Dragon Ball Legends at all?
Is this
No.
an app?
It's a mobile game. It's on. It just released on Android. It's coming to iOS soon. So I played
Okay.
it for like 5 minutes tops, but
It must have been the best 5 minutes of your life.
well, I just wanted to make people aware of its existence more than anything. I can't really, get a good handle on what it even is, but yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that later on. So, all right. So the main segment, Frostpunk. So Frostpunk is, I guess, it's the world's first survival city builder, right? There's no other survival city builders that I'm aware of. They may exist. What do you think?
It's like Dwarf
SimCity.
Fortress,
Sim Fortress?
Dwarf Fortress, RimWorld.
Those aren't survival games, though, are they? It doesn't matter.
RimWorld
That
is.
I think that's what they said in on their little blurb on Steam. It's a society survival game. That's what they called it. It's developed and published by 11-Bit Studios, and it's basically you have a small group of survivors, and you have to kind of build your city around this steam generator that's kind of the central hub of the world, and you go from there. Corey, I'm gonna start with you because you played the most of this. What are your thoughts on Frostpunk?
So, it's hard for me to say whether I really liked it or just thought it was good because I'm not really sure.
Mhm.
It's definitely addicting,
Yeah.
and I spent at least one night where it was just like, okay, I just want to finish this scenario, and it ended up being like 3:30 in the morning, and I had to work the next day, and I paid for it. Which is something I like in games. I like that feeling where you don't want to stop.
Yeah.
And that's actually something I struggle with because I can't tell if I'm just addicted to what I'm doing or if I'm actually enjoying it. And Frostpunk is definitely guilty of that. And the other main point I'll say about Frostpunk is I really loved this war of mine.
Uh-huh.
I think at one point I on this show I called it the greatest war video game ever made.
Yeah, same developer is why you're
yeah.
mentioning that.
Right, yeah, I should have said that. But I will say that a lot of the decisions and the quote unquote tragedies going on around you aren't as impactful in Frostpunk as they are in this War of Mine. And I think it loses a little bit of the personal aspect of this War of Mine.
There's definitely a degree of separation, more so than this War of Mine, because I think it's because you're overseeing. I mean, you start with 100 people, and they slowly have problems, but you don't really, at least I didn't in my experience with it, get to know people on an more individual level. It was just kind of a name. And they have a portrait and stuff and wishes and desires, but I didn't get to the point where I micromanaged that enough to have it be impactful when, just when your people are, as a group, are like freezing or whatever, or suffering from frostbite or sick, you want to help them out. But yeah, there's not that personal touch that's in this War of Mine, definitely.
The only time I paid attention to the actual names and who was doing what was when I built the public house, which is where your characters can go to drink to lower discontent. Mm-hmm. And I just kept a mental tally of who was frequenting the public house.
Yeah.
Just because I thought it was funny. It served no purpose, but
right.
It's just at my own entertainment.
Yeah, to keep tabs on the lushes in there,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a city building game. It's a resource management, all that stuff. To me, the most important resource is coal. So coal is what keeps your generator, your steam generator going. That's what provides the warmth for your civilization. And then you kind of build in a circle outward from there. So one thing you have to keep tabs on is obviously the temperature. It's very cold. So I don't know about you, Core, but I tended to try to put my living quarters closer to the core of the thing. Just to keep when people are sleeping. If the temperature is low, they're more likely to get sick. So I tried to keep the living quarters as close to that as I could. But once that runs out, then everyone gets cold and hope drops, and then your hot house doesn't work. So that was kind of my thing. And even though that was kind of my focus and gathering coal, it still stalled out on me twice because I ran out of coal from mismanaging my resources and stuff. So. It's quite good. I found myself to be loving this game. It's really nicely presented. Everything is kind of right there. I don't know what you thought about the UI, Corey, but it's very simple, very easy to read. But you can tell there's definitely some strategic depth to the game.
I don't know. How far did you get? Did you beat the first scenario?
I did not beat the first scenario. I've probably put about 4 hours into it.
Okay.
I'm deep into the Londoners, threatening to leave my civilization thing right now, and I'm not having a good time with that.
Okay.
Haven't been successful.
So my thoughts were very similar to yours at the point you're in the game, but the more I played it, the more shallow I thought it was. So I'll be curious to see if you feel the same way once you play a little bit more. And I'm only saying that because after I beat the first scenario and went into the second scenario, I kept the same normal difficulty and everything, and it was just really easy. It just became the ending part was the only challenging part of the game, and that was pretty much just a race against time. And you kind of like it is in the first. I don't know if you got to that point in the first scenario. It's without spoiling anything. It's just time becomes a major factor, and that was the case in the second one as well. And you kind of know going into that final challenge whether you're going to be successful or not. And I had no difficulty managing. So there's 2 status bars you have to manage. Your civilization is the wrong word. Your society, I guess. Your society's discontent bar and their hope bar. And I had no issue keeping hope way up and discontent way down in both scenarios. I did my first couple games just because I didn't know what I was doing. But once I kind of figured out what I was doing, it was very easy to manage those bars and keep my people from getting sick. It was more of a matter of just being anal about constantly building. Which I don't really like in strategy games. It's one of those things where it's like what game did I talk about it in? I know I talked about it in Banish, which Reefer has already mentioned in our Twitch chat, but what was that one like pixel game that I played that was a sim, Kingdoms and Castles or something like that?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like if you want to expand, you have to take into account all these other things in order to expand, and that's the loop, the gameplay loop, which I'm not crazy about because I didn't feel like there was enough random things going on to throw you curveballs in order to challenge you on how you want to respond.
Right.
It was just very, very straightforward. And even in second playthroughs of the first scenario, very little difference in what happens. And I think one of my favorite parts of the game is the exploration part. So you can build this thing in your society called the Beacon, and it's this big like hot air balloon that floats up and sends a signal out to people in your area, and you can then create scouts at that beacon and send scouts out into the wasteland. Is the wasteland the right term?
Frozen tundra.
The frozen tundra, yeah, which is actually pretty cool because you're finding stuff and bringing stuff back and finding new people for your civilization. But even that isn't randomized. It's the same.
Oh, is it really?
Sometimes the result is different. So there's one where I forget exactly what I had to do, but it just seemed like it was one of those things where it was like 50-50, you either succeed or you don't, and that's not all that interesting to me.
Right. And
even in the random things that happen in your civilization that pop up and you get to make decisions, they're very much the same every time. And the decision you make, I did notice only one instance where I made the same decision and it was a different outcome, but it was a very uninteresting different outcome. All that said, it is a very, like you said, Dan, it is a very well-crafted game. I just wish there was a little bit more
variety,
more randomness going on. And I felt the same way about the second scenario. I played through it a couple times. I did end up beating that one, although not with the best result. Kind of a halfway good job result in that one.
Yeah, see, I haven't played as much as you. I'm still in I'm on my first playthrough. I haven't quite completed it yet. I'm still very much in the I can't get comfortable phase of the game. Just when I start to get things settled, where I'm like, okay, my discontent is dropping, my hope is rising. That's when I got a huge temperature decrease, and it was -60, I think. For 4 or 5 days, and I didn't have food. I was running out of things. The Londoners were significantly growing at that point. I just got out of that thing, and I'm just trying to recover and rebuild my, because I tried to overclock the generator, which makes it run hotter and keep people at least kind of warm. I just got through that part. So I haven't been able to get myself comfortable, and it's, for me, when I feel like I'm starting to get comfortable, they throw something else at me that disrupts my. But I think once you learn those tricks and how to get through them, or how to see them coming or prepare for them, I think you're right. I think that it's less of a surprise, and you can weather that storm a little easier.
Literally and figuratively, yeah. Definitely. In another part too that I wish there was more variety is the I forget what it's called, but the Book of Laws, or the adaptation. I forget exactly what that screen says on it, but it's basically like Civ has their cultural, not a tech tree, because there is a tech tree, that's a different thing, but they have like cultural options that you can make decisions. And those, there's not very many of them. There's not even a dozen, I don't think. And they're the same every game. And it's just one of those things where you can decide you want to do it or not. And if you don't do it, then you just lose a little bit of hope, or discontent grows. Or if you do it, it challenges you and you can gain a little bit of hope. But in the grand scheme of things, it didn't really make too much of a difference, any of those things, for me. I mean, I don't know, it's almost easier in my eyes to just not do any of them. So events will happen. One, like the first time one of your characters loses a limb.
Yeah.
You can choose. There's two options. It's like sustain life or radical treatment or something like that. And if you choose radical treatment, or no, it's before. It's when they're gravely ill. If you choose radical treatment, then they'll start doing amputations. Or if you do the sustain life option, then it will take your guys who are gravely ill and they'll take up a spot in the med center, but you can never heal them. Or if you amputate them, they can't work, but at least they're not taking up a spot in the med center.
Right.
But to me, like those decisions didn't make enough of a difference in the grand scheme of things for it to be interesting or me really have to think too hard about it, because it didn't really matter.
Yeah, they have a care center for those people, but I never really missed them being gone. I'm sure I did. I'm sure I felt it in my resource collection, but it wasn't significant enough. Like, you're constantly moving people around anyway, so I just never felt like they were missing, you know?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I feel like it's a good shell of a game. I just wish there was, as I said, more variety.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have much more to say.
Did you prefer Order or Faith?
I did Faith.
Okay. Yeah, I did Order in my first game thus far. So I'm building like Orwellian guard towers everywhere in my. It's helped quite a bit, and some people are appreciative of the guards, and I even got a little mini event where some of my citizens were bringing them soup when they were out on patrol when it was really, really cold.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
I wonder too if the Faith or Order option is just a reskinning, and they're just the same. Just in one case they're peacekeepers, in the other case they're whatever police force or something in your situation. I don't know. I didn't try that one, so
right.
I'd be curious to know if there's actually any difference there, because that would at least be something a little bit different. But
yeah,
know.
Maybe when I do the second scenario, I'll go the Faith route instead of the Order route.
Yeah.
Graphically, it looks really good. I really like the sound design. It's very good. It's there's obviously the weather sounds, but then as you zoom into the city, you can hear people chattering, or occasionally people will be yelling something. I've heard screams of profanity from people having arguments and stuff. It's really really well done.
I didn't catch any of that.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It is a charming game.
Yeah, I'm really really digging it so far. I tend to play games for a little while and then move on, so it's nothing I'm going to stick with, but that's not saying much because I don't really stick with anything. So but yeah, it's what was it, $25-$30, Will?
I can't even remember.
Yeah, I want to say 30 is what it is. So
that sounds about right. Yeah, it was 30 because I remember it being kind of a lot.
So
definitely worth its price.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and I think I don't know what it had on the review sites. I want to say like 80.
It was getting 8s, 8.5, stuff like that.
That's about right in my eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can tell you one sec. From our favorite aggregate website, OpenCritic.
OpenCritic.
Frostpunk had an 85.
Okay, yeah, that's about right. So what, Corey? Briefly explain, what are the other scenarios like? I mean, obviously, it's not just building up the first one's just building a city to survival, right? I mean,
yes.
Okay.
The second scenario, I didn't do the third one, but the second one is called the Arcs or something like that, and there's 4 arcs that are full of seedlings that you have to preserve until after the bad snow, the bad blizzard, the coldness. So you just have to make sure that they stay warm. But the temperature is a lot colder in general in that scenario than it is in the first one.
Okay.
And it was kind of interesting because there came a point, this is a mild spoiler, but there was another civilization that I was trying to help. So you're kind of balancing the needs of your own society and those arcs with this other society. And wondering, like, is there going to be a payout if I help these people? I don't know. Is it worth it? I don't know. That was probably the most interesting, like, moral decision, because there was a lot of that in this war of mine.
Yeah.
But I don't know, in this war of mine, it just felt more organic. That it wasn't like a prompt that said, "Do you want to do this or do you want to do that?" It was more of like you just seeing the needs of your characters and then, giving a character more food because you think it'll help them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, as I said, in this one, there's distance from the effects of that.
Right.
So. Okay, that's all I want to talk about Frostpunk. I'll definitely be playing it more. I actually wanted to try to finish this scenario before we did the episode, but time.
So guess why I never ended up playing it?
What's that? Because you ran out of time?
No, I actually didn't know that this game was scenarios only. There's no free play.
Oh.
Which, not gonna lie, really disappointed me. So
Yeah.
I probably won't play it until there is a free play, if there ever will be.
Yeah, as the game is right now, I don't think there could be a free play.
It's got to be somewhat focused.
It would be very boring. I don't know. There'd be nothing. There'd be no challenge.
I mean, I feel like the first scenario is kind of that until you dig up the story, right?
Well, look at it like this. Like, this war of mine was pretty much just trying to survive and get a working... Like, why can't this have that? Like, I mean, look at a game like SimCity or something like that, or City Skylines. Like, there's no focus to that. Just build.
Well, there are scenarios and stuff in those games.
I mean, yeah, but you also can just play free build and just screw around and, like, try to build a civilization.
I guess what I'm saying, like in SimCity, there's enough variety and different things and different goals that you can do on your own to have fun with the game. I don't feel there's none of that. I don't think, Dan, in your experience in Frostpunk.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a little more focused because it kind of the idea is survival.
Yeah.
So
I guess they could gradually lower the temperature, but that would, if you knew that was what free play was, it would be very easy to combat that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Gotcha. See, I'm not exactly sure how the mechanics play because I haven't played it, but I just figured that this was there was more city building to it than there actually seems to be.
It's not really like everything you do is just a response to something else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're pretty much going around trying to put out fires.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a good way for me. As I said, I've thoroughly enjoyed Frostpunk thus far. So, any other thoughts on Frostpunk before we move on? No. Corey, you wanted to talk about some of the other stuff you've played?
Yeah, because I can't
before you peace out.
Stick around for the whole show. You want to talk about Into the Breach?
Yeah. So I loved Into the Breach.
Yeah. Did you end up beating it?
I did.
Okay, so I'm at the point now with Into the Breach that I'm wondering if I'm doing something wrong.
Uh-huh.
Because I haven't beaten it. I haven't had any really good runs either. There was one run where I made it to the final island.
Okay.
Or did the challenge or something like I forget what it's called, the final challenge, and then lost in the second part of it where you have to protect the bomb.
Yep.
But I'm still using the standard squad, starting squad. I've only unlocked one other one, and I was just terrible with it, so I immediately went back to the standard squad. I don't know. I just wonder, am I doing something wrong? Am I just not very good at it?
I mean, part of it is because it's random. Like, part of it is the pilots that you get. I think that's really important. I had one pilot that I carried through a couple different, because you could, like, the way my game ended, I could choose to save someone to transfer into the next game. So I had that person for a little while, so they were fully leveled up. And they had ability. I don't remember what they were at this point, but they had abilities that were extraordinarily useful. And I got two other pilots that were extraordinarily useful, and I just had I had a magical run where I couldn't be stopped.
Right.
You know, I feel like it was more luck than anything, just because of the pilots that I had.
Okay, maybe I don't know. Maybe I just gotten really unlucky so far.
I have not done any, because that was after I did my run where I was successful. I unlocked the second second group of tanks. I haven't, or Max, and I haven't used that yet. So, yeah, I'm waiting for the right time to jump back into it.
Okay, I really like it.
Yeah.
It has a perfect balance of strategy and action and fun. Like I like how the grid is so small and contained, that it's randomized,
Yeah.
and there's a ton of strategy that goes into such a small game.
Yeah,
Really,
it's a very tight game. I was very impressed with Into the Breach. Ultra wide supported too, which
I didn't even know.
It's a pixel game, like it's not, but it's just nice to have it fill up my entire screen and not be stretched.
That's cool.
Made it look really nice.
Yeah, that is cool.
So,
yeah, I don't really know what else I have to say about it. I'm having a good time with it. It's just challenging, and I feel like I'm doing all the strategy things. Like pushing guys in front of other guys and using different tools, and I don't know. What's the how often? I don't know. I feel like I'm missing a resource or something. I don't know. Every game is so similar. Like my characters and stuff like that, but I always see all these weapons and things like that, but I never feel like I have enough of the cores to actually use them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, when you pick the scenarios that you're going to be fighting in, you try to look for stuff that you might need. That was when I kind of clicked with my thing. So, on the region of the map, it'll have whatever the things may be.
Stars or the lightning bolts
for stuff that you need, and I just started picking the stuff that would help my party.
Yeah.
And that went from there. I also tried to pick battles that I thought would be easier if I could.
Okay.
But I still say it was mostly luck that when the one that I won. I don't even remember. I feel like the ability was that I couldn't get trapped in one spot, and that was my one that would move close and punch people. And I feel like that's why I was able to more easily win, because I never got locked down. And she had +1 mobility too, maybe, or something like that. Or maybe I increased the mobility, so she would just dance around the whole map and punch everyone. It was great.
Even if you do all the islands before you do the final battle, I just feel like there's so much. Your guys can be powered up so much, but there's just not enough cores to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's another one where you're struggling to maintain resources and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a balancing act. You try not to lose too much power, because that's you run out of power and game's over. So sometimes you have to sacrifice a building to not take a hit or not get one of your pilots killed.
Yeah,
you got to be
or
careful.
vice versa. Take a hit in order to prevent a building or something.
Yep.
Okay, I like it a lot. It's very, very addictive and fun, and hits all the points for me. I feel like I'm doing. Maybe I should just lower it to easy and unlock some of the other build outs.
More advanced stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. SteamWorld Heist.
Oh, so I didn't play too much of it, but I just wanted to share my adoration for the game, because I played maybe an hour and a half one night or something like that, and I was like, I've heard that it's a good game, but I'm like, how am I just now getting to this and actually playing it? Because I absolutely loved it.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
And I don't know, I think they used the engine from the first SteamWorld game and just created this awesome heist game, essentially, is what it is.
Steampunk space heist game.
Yeah, with robots. It's awesome. It's stylistically, it's very cool. I like the setup, the backstory, the concept, the gameplay, all of it. It's really fun. It's a mix of active and turn-based combat.
There is skill-based aiming, at least kind of.
That's
cool.
That's kind of what I mean. But yeah, I don't know. It's just hits all the marks for me. I don't have anything to complain about. Granted, I haven't played it too much, but It's a really awesome game, and it makes me feel like I need to play Steam World Dig 2.
Yep, SteamWorld Dig 2 is quite good. I've been debating whether or not I want to get SteamWorld Heist on the Switch. I have it on PC already, but I'm just more likely to play something like that on the Switch. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Do you want to stick around for a little bit longer, Corey, or you want to peace out? What's your plan?
I'll stick for a little bit longer. Did you guys play any more Ni no Kuni 2? Is there any need to talk about that more? No?
You can talk about it, absolutely. I have not played more, but
my thoughts probably haven't really changed since the last time, but
okay.
More problems definitely are
starting to surface.
Their head. Yeah, like the combat, the strategy combat. I forget what that's called. That I don't know. I have zero interest in that. It's not fun for me at all anymore. I think it's because it's so detached from the game. Like there's so little to be gained from it. It just seems kind of pointless, I guess. But that I guess is the biggest thing I wanted to talk about. But that's still, I mean, if you're still looking for a lengthy, stylized RPG, that's a good one.
Yeah.
We don't get too many of those anymore.
No, we do not.
So.
All right. Excellent. Will. Nibblebits.
Ooh, perfect. I got some big ones, Dan. First one, post-apocalyptic sequel, Metro Exodus delayed into 2019. I was actually not surprised by this.
No, because we haven't seen anything from it since the E3 reveal last year, right?
Yeah, other than that, like we've gotten really nothing from it. So, Q1 next year, apparently. So, looking forward to that. I'm never too upset when games get delayed, though, because usually for the better.
I used to get frustrated by it, but then, usually, generally speaking, if a delay is necessary,
Exactly. But the biggest rumor of them all this week are the rumors surrounding the new Pokemon game for the Switch. So
yeah.
There's a lot here, and I know I probably will have missed stuff, but Nintendo trademark Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee from the same domain place that they registered Pokemon Sun and Moon. And recently, I guess Nintendo on their website has put, or the Pokemon website has put Pikachu and Eevee together on there, and like the Build-A-Bear warehouse that they ship Pikachu and Eevee stuff there to be able for kids to make their own Eevee and Pikachu. So there's a lot more than just like, oh, like I heard from so and so that they're working on this. There's more credence to a lot of these rumors.
Huh.
And on 4chan, which take it for what you want, there rumors going around that these are a remake of kind of like Pokemon Yellow for the Switch. There's going to be two versions, the Pikachu and Eevee one. It's going to take place in the Kanto region, but in a different time. There's going to be apparently Pokemon from the newer generations of games, but kind of like how they have the Alolan versions of the Kanto Pokemon in Sun and Moon, they're going to have their own variants, so they're not going to be the same typing and stuff like that. And the biggest thing on there was that Pokemon Go will be implemented. You will be catching Pokemon like you do in Pokemon Go. So that kind of like raised a lot of red flags to people because people don't want their mainline Pokemon game to have anything Pokemon Go in it.
Yeah.
But because of the rumors are being so vague as they are, like nobody really knows what that means. They don't know if while you're walking on the overworld map, if a Pokemon just pops up and it's not random battles anymore. Like you actively go out and search the Pokemon that you want to battle with instead of just like, oh, here's a random battle. Nobody really knows like what's going on with it other than that. There's been rumors that there's like more of a post-apocalyptic Kanto region. There's a lot of rumors going around with it, and apparently it's supposed to get announced before the end of this month.
Really?
Yeah, for
like
release date
before
this
E3.
Year. Yeah, and a release date for this year. Is the other thing. Here I can read it. So real leaks, let's go. Yellow remakes for the Switch, two versions, Pikachu and Eevee. Red and Blue play a role in the story, and your rival are new trainers. Pokemon that follow you returns. HMs are still replaced with the Poké Rides from Alola. online mode has a hub for players, Pokemon Go integration, catching Pokemon works like in Go, rewards in-game for Pokemon Go for linking the two together. There's going to be new accessories, an announcement soon, and it's releasing this year. There's another thing. I found it in the Kotaku comments where people said there was more to the person who said all that. Kotaku's not loading for me right now because the site sucks, so I can't get all that for you.
Don't blame Kotaku, blame Spectrum Internet.
Well, whenever I clicked to show more comments and it just won't load.
Yeah,
and I go to the Destructoid article and everything loads. So
yeah,
I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, there's a lot going around with that. So honestly, with everything that I'm seeing, I have no idea what to expect. I don't know if they're doing this as a game to just kind of push out for Switch while they're working on the new gen. I don't really know.
Yeah, the Pokemon Go connection angle is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they could make that cool, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But they could also make it suck really bad. So
I am worried that because of the success of Pokemon Go, the mainline Pokemon games become more like that.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want... Really, all they need to do is make a pretty Pokemon game, and everybody would be happy. It would review well.
A more traditional Pokemon game with nice full-on modern-day RPG graphics.
Exactly, and if they do that, everybody would be happy. So I hope they don't try to go too off the wall,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this has potential to be really cool, but I also could see it really depends on how they do the Pokemon Go integration. I think if what the one post that I read was true, it was not you need GPS and stuff like that. It's just they pop up on the overworld map and that's how you battle them. That would be fine with me. And you can either you can catch them by swiping a Pokeball, or you can just do it normally, however you want. That would be cool. I'd be okay with that, but I think it can't go too much that way.
Right.
Tito in the chat says he's worried there will never be a full-fledged RPG Pokemon game. I would actually be a little disappointed if they did the Sun and Moon style graphics and just put it on the Switch, because that's not... That's hamstringing the potential of the Switch, in my opinion.
They're capable of making something nicer looking.
Yeah, he said he's tired of the format that's been out for over a decade. I agree with that. I want a full-on Pokemon game, an actual cool Pokemon game.
Yeah, I want to see Pokemon running around in the environment.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
And that you chase them down and catch them that way.
And Beardless says it's a Pokemon game, but you need the motorcycle Labo to use the bike.
That would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah, if that was optional stuff, I would be for that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, neat little mini games that if you have those peripherals, you can use them in the game. That would actually be kind of neat.
But I'm gonna be honest, I need this to be announced soon, because the speculation every day it's been new stuff. People are either leaking things saying it's leaked. You have no idea.
I've been avoiding the Nintendo Switch subreddit for that very reason. I'm I don't need to see any more leak posts. It's getting ridiculous. So
yeah, to me that kind of says we're getting close.
Yeah.
To something,
well,
right?
I mean, E3 is 3 weeks away, 4 weeks away. It's not far. So
I do know the artists for the original Pokemon games have been tweeting out pictures of original design concepts for Pokemon that they had, and some of the cut ones.
Uh-huh.
And that kind of goes with the theme of this being a Kanto game with newer Pokemon with different evolution lines and stuff. That was one of the things that was in the rumors, is that some of the traditional Pokemon are going to have different evolution lines. Kind of show you this game takes place so far into the future, the Pokemon have kind of by evolution kind of changed how they were becoming.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all stuff like that. So I don't know, that kind of ties in with the designers tweeting out pictures of the designs that they had originally for the original red and blue and green and all that. So who knows? It's getting pretty crazy though. A lot of people have been really speculating a ton. It's been driving me crazy.
I've got it. Pokemon Yellow Advanced Warfare
With a battle royale.
It's got to have a battle royale mode. Absolutely.
Oh God! I actually read. I don't know if this was another rumor. I shouldn't give credence to these rumors because they could just be fake. But
It's fine. It's
there's
fun to talk
actually
about.
well, there's actually a Fallout 3 remake coming to like Nintendo and all the new consoles, or like the remaster, whatever. But Fortnite is also coming to the Switch, so
Okay. Yeah.
so
That's going to happen.
Eric will be playing that.
Yeah, that's going to happen at some point. I can
Yeah.
I'm almost willing to guarantee it. You do know that one of these times we have to play Fortnite. We just have to.
We should stream it at some point after
We
the
should.
podcast. Or
Maybe next week. I'm not prepared to do that this week, but maybe next week after next week's episode.
I'll get ready.
Okay. I just have to. I haven't even downloaded it or anything, so it's transcended just being a game. It's everywhere now.
Well, Dan, you better get ready to use the Epic launcher.
That's okay. I mean, I highly doubt it's something I'm going to be heavily invested in and play all the time, just because that's not my nature. So, Corey, you got to peace out.
I got peace out.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Sure.
Let us-
guys.
Let us know when you want to be on again.
Oh, surely. Probably the next game that I play a lot of.
Of our new releases.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what's coming down the pike.
I don't know. I've got a couple Switch games coming out in June. Or is it July? Might be. It's July. Octopath Traveler and Captain Toad.
Man, I'm going to want to play Octopath Traveler.
Yes,
Is that
you
coming
are.
out for PC too or no?
No, that's Switch.
Never?
Switch. I don't think so. There hasn't been any hints of it anyway.
Okay.
Although it's
All right.
it's Square Enix, it's always possible. So
That's true. They're good about that.
yep. All right.
All right, guys.
See you later.
Bye.
All right, Will. What else you got for nibble bits?
That's actually it.
Okay. I'm gonna rearrange the Skype window real quick just to.
Thank God he's gone, right?
He's gonna listen, and he's gonna hear that you said that.
To be honest, he hasn't made comments about the last couple comments that
about
I made.
us teasing him.
Yeah.
Well, he was on vacation probably when he heard the last one, right? Or no,
Oh,
he'd
yeah.
probably just come home. Oh no, last week it was me and the wife, so I don't know that we teased
Oh.
Corey at all.
Yeah, no, because he commented
Yeah,
on Val's appearance, which was very good, by the way.
yeah.
I know I told her in person, but I wanted to say on here that
Yeah.
she was excellent.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have her on again. I thought about doing some sort of video series where I have her play games. I'll be with her, but they get her out of her comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah. To try out new stuff.
Yeah, try out new stuff, but I've even like just expanding because she likes platformers probably the most. Having her try like Super Meat Boy or Celeste or something like that, something different, and super difficult, just to get her out of her comfort zone. I think that would be entertaining.
Fortnite,
yes, fork knife
knife.
as it's known. We've got State of Decay 2 going in the stream right now. Okay, for my nibble bits. First, the NES Classic will go on sale again on June 29th, as announced by Nintendo. So if you want to get one, do not buy one from a scalper. Just wait. I know the SNES Classic had a lot of units shipped the first round, so hopefully you can walk into a Target in the morning like I did and get your NES Classic. I know we'll be getting one at some point, hopefully on launch, but who knows. So,
Okay.
yeah. NES
wait,
Classic.
How much is it going to be on sale?
That one's 60. The SNES Classic was 80. So Nintendo 64 Classic, 100.
Probably.
Hundo.
And I'm going to drop that on that because I want it so bad.
I'll get one if they announce it.
You know what? Honestly, Nintendo has potential for an insane E3 because the N64 Classic, Mario Tennis, which is getting everybody's really amped for that game because it actually looks really good.
Yeah, that's coming out. It's coming out at the end of next month, right? Or middle of next month.
On top of Smash Brothers, Pokemon, Fire Emblem apparently is supposed to be coming out at the end of the year, and they have other stuff probably too.
Yeah.
Nintendo honestly had, for as well as they started, Nintendo could really amp it up here and really take over.
Yeah. I agree. I have a thing I'm going to be talking about during my week that could
Really?
help them take over.
You know Nintendo likes to copy our ideas.
Yes, they do.
But isn't it wild that we're talking about them taking over again after the Wii U?
Yeah. As much as I like the games on the Wii U, it was not a great system. You know?
Not one bit.
And using it now, like the tablet controller just feels so clunky and old.
Yeah.
Compared to the Switch, which is sleek and small. But anyway, that's that. So for my next nibble bit, Radical Heights and Lawbreakers developer Boss Key has shut down. That's Cliff Bleszinski's game studio that he started up. I never like to hear this. It was kind of sad. Lawbreakers was well thought of. It just didn't. After Overwatch came out, like they kind of took over that hero shooter niche, I guess. So they released Radical Heights, which was like a Fortnite battle royale game, but it was too little, too late. That was kind of their last desperation attempt at not having to shut down. So, but yeah, I mean, I just don't think those were games that I don't think they were not destined to do well. You know?
Yeah, honestly, any game that kind of tries to compete with Overwatch, I just don't see them doing well, because but I guess you
go ahead.
I was gonna say, but I guess you can say that about League of Legends and like games like Dota and Heroes of the Storm and Smite have done well for themselves. So I mean, I guess it's not worth saying don't try, but at the same time,
well, I wouldn't go into the battle royale thing. As we talked about, Fortnite's kind of transcended just being in gaming culture to just being a part of the culture,
Yeah.
Not to talk more about Fortnite, but my wife just listened to the most recent 31 Thoughts.
Yeah.
And they were talking about Fortnite, actually.
Were they really?
Yeah, because... and I don't know if you heard this story, but apparently, like, the entire Red Sox team plays Fortnite, like, every second they're home.
It's that bad with
it's that bad with professional athletes at all levels. And apparently at 31 Thoughts, they said a recent first-round draft pick for the NHL has been into rehab. That's how bad his gaming addiction is, and specifically with Fortnite. They said he's never going to crack the NHL lineup because he can't stop playing Fortnite. Isn't that crazy?
What is going on?
I don't know.
What did Epic make?
I think part of it is that it's free. I think that's a huge thing, when you're comparing Fortnite to PUBG, dropping $30 on PUBG, which is kind of janky, or just, hey, download this game, try it out. It's free, I think that's the difference.
That's insane. Well, there's also an article about Patrick Laine and Nikolai Ehlers from the Winnipeg Jets. They said that when they go to like hotels to stay when they're on the road, they bring their consoles.
Yeah.
And they bring if they can't get an extra, and they room together. If they can't get an extra TV, they'll just go out and buy a TV.
Wow.
And we'll bring it with them until it breaks. And they said they left one broken TV in Jersey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they said they just go out buy one so they can play their video game. Probably Fortnite.
During the regular season, for the Predators, they actually had a in between period segment about Fortnite, and all the players would play Fortnite. And some of the players had Xbox One modded laptops, and that's what they play Fortnite on.
So not only are they not play. They got an Xbox One modded laptop to play Fortnite.
Yep. It was Roman Yossi, Fiala. Who else? I think they said Fiala stinks at it. He had just started, so they were making fun of him for not being very good at it. Forsberg was another one that played it. Who else? Was it Bonino? Anthony Botetto was big into it too, which is hilarious. So
I think people were saying that David Price is carpal tunnel, which is he's a pitcher for the Red Sox. For those who don't know, it's from playing Fortnite.
Oh, jeez.
I see the Yankees are playing the long con by getting them addicted to Fortnite.
Oh, yeah. You never thought about that.
Brilliant move.
So yeah, Radical Heights and Lawbreakers dev Boss Key closing down. Don't like hearing that, but yeah, Beardless says in the chat that 4 different tweets from people leaving the company for the last time before I figured out Boss Key was shutting down. So also delayed, Shenmue 3 was delayed into 2019. No surprises there. See you, Tato. Yeah, get out of there. Be like Mike. Be like Michael Scott and just push everyone out of the way, and run out as fast as you can. Anyway, yeah, Shenmue delayed. No surprises there. I had heard kind of bad things about the development of that game. It's a kickstarted game. I don't know. That'll come out when it's ready to come out, probably 2020, 2021.
I mean, if you think about it, a niche game like this, it's kind of better that they delay it until they can release it at a more beneficial time frame, because if they send it out into the fall, it's just going to get slaughtered by...
Yeah. Especially if it's not great, it's just it's going to get buried.
Might as well. Did we talk about the 2023 release date for Final Fantasy VII?
No.
What is going on?
I don't know. I didn't like that project from the beginning. So yeah, there was I don't know. I don't even know how this came up, but it was a rumor that Final Fantasy VII Remake wouldn't be out until 2023. No one's sure if that means the entire game, because they're going with the whole stupid episodic format, or if it's just going to be like that's the first episode. I don't know, but things are. I don't think they like pretty much fired and rehired all new people in the development team, and I don't know. I don't like it. Just stop.
It'd be nice if like we got some detail out of that. Same with Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, that'll probably... I can imagine that stuff will be at least mentioned in Sony's E3 press conference. I mean, what was it, 4 years ago that Sony mentioned Final Fantasy VII Remake, and here it's not supposed to come out for another 5 years?
Well, I mean, the big 4 kind of games that they showed off right in a row was The Last Guardian Remake, Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Shenmue 3.
Oh.
They don't get enough flack for only really having one of those games shown.
Yeah.
I won't release, but we've seen legitimately nothing on the other 3.
Yeah. It's way too far in advance to announce those if you're not planning on having them come out until... That's crazy. 2023. We'll say that. That's the release date. Fall 2023.
The fact that we're close enough to even make that a feasible year kind of bothers me.
Yeah.
Right? Like
it's 2018.
Oh god.
And then my last and at least I think most interesting nibble bit is that Microsoft has announced a new controller for disabled gamers called the Xbox Adaptive Controller. So, I've got... That's not my last nibble bit. I didn't write one of them down. But anyway, I'm going to call this up because it's really interesting. It's in the chat here, or in the stream. So it looks like it's got a large base unit, which almost looks like it's the size of a 10 keyless keyboard. It's got a D-pad on it, and then 2 like larger pads, and then around in the back, it's got a bunch of ports for pretty much whatever you want to plug into it to play games with. You can do joysticks. It looks like headsets, all sorts of weird buttons and stuff, so you can kind of customize it however you please. It's fully customizable. It's supposedly going to be available later this year for $100. I don't know what that comes with or what have you, but that's really awesome. I'm glad they're doing that. That was always one of the benefits of PC, is you could play with really whatever you wanted. So it's nice to see Xbox taking steps and making the games in general more available for everyone. So it's awesome.
Yeah, that's nothing but a good move for them to do, you know. Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think $100 is a bad price for that, you know.
That style of controller.
Yeah. I mean, people were really thrilled with the Xbox Elite controller because of that. Beardless says the adaptive controller is cooler than anything we'll see at E3. I actually agree. Well, I don't know about cooler than anything at E3, but it's really cool. And I could see even people just who want to customize their playing experience buying that, not even necessarily for disabled gamers. I'm a type of person that, if I could hook up a keyboard and mouse to that and play games with a keyboard and mouse, I would definitely do that. That would be worth it for me.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, that was nothing but awesome from Microsoft. So good on them for that. And then my last one. I didn't write this one down, so I'm glad I remembered it. It's the Hooked on Multiplayer Humble Bundle. So for $1, you get Stick Fight the game, Rampage Nights, and Tumblestone for $1. If you pay more than the average, which right now is $5.42, you also get Besiege, Duck Game, which is one I've been interested in, and Hover. And then if you pay $14 or more, you also get Rocket League. So that's a pretty good lineup of games for $14.
Yeah, that really is.
Yeah, so good. So if you're interested, there's that. And that is it for my Nibble Bits officially. So, Will, how's your week?
It was good, Dan. I took a trip to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And usually when you go on vacation, you're ready to come back.
No, that's never happened to me.
No?
No, I've never wanted to come back from a vacation.
Well, let me tell you, Dan. This was the first time I've come back, and I was like, man, I do not want to go back.
The most recent vacation I was on was probably the most relaxing vacation I've ever been on. And I was miserable having to go home and go back to work. Miserable.
Well, before I get into the activities that I partook in, let me put this frame, like this picture for you.
Paint us the picture.
I'm leaving Florida, I'm in joggers and I'm in a cutoff and I'm leaving 90-degree weather. We land in, sorry everybody, but dumpy Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
And it's 55 and rainy. And I'm just like, this is the worst. I'm shivering walking to the shuttles to get to our terminal and stuff like that. We land in dumpy Syracuse.
Yeah.
And, it's 50 and rainy. And it's just like, it was just so depressing. And I knew I had a busy week of school coming up. And I was just like, ugh. I've never said to myself that I wanted to live in Florida. But, like, being down there, I was like, man, I really could live in Florida now. Like, that's how much I've mentally shifted.
Yeah, me and the wife... more so in the winter than now, but we're always like, we have to get out of here.
Yeah.
I hate winter. I hate snow. It's just miserable. I want to live somewhere where there's no such thing as winter, or if it's winter, it just rains and is like 45 or 50.
Yeah.
That's what I want. So
it's funny because the people that we were staying with, the father, actually Johnny's been on the podcast. People who, it's Johnny, my friend.
Yep.
His dad was saying like how much of a difference it is getting sun, because like where we live, it's top 3 for cloudiest.
Yeah, I want to say top 2. I want to say it's Binghamton is 2 on the most cloudy places in the country. Seattle
might be 1. So Seattle and Binghamton are 1 too.
Yeah. Well, at least in Seattle it rains a lot. Here it rains a lot, which I like rain, but it's just cloudy all the time.
Yeah, it's depressing. He said how much of a difference it is getting sun year round for your mood, your mentality.
Yeah.
Just all of that. Like, it got so bad here that I started taking a vitamin D supplement because it was just like my mood was just so bad.
Yeah.
Every day. But for activities that we did down there, like we landed Wednesday at like 6:30. We went out to dinner, saw 3 of my good friends like that I haven't seen in a while, like their parents. Like, it was great. Ate food, then we swam more in the hot tub. Thursday we pretty much kind of hung out all day, and then we actually ended up going to a video game bar, which Corey, I guess, had asked me in the group message how the video game bar was, which I didn't see. So I was kind of hoping he was on so I could talk about it with him, but he's gone. But it was cool. As somebody who doesn't drink, that's kind of a good spot for me because I get to. They had like Smash Brothers set up for the N64,
Nice.
Mario Kart for the N64 set up. So like you got to sit down and play that. Like I played air hockey, I played NBA Jam, I played Mortal Kombat, I played all sorts of pinball, all sorts of games, and they were all free. That you just legitimately just got to go sit there, press the button, start it up, start playing. And it was really cool to be able to do that and play video games with your friends. Some of them drank, some like played video games. It was fun. Like it was a good place to go. Like because it fit everybody's interests. Because most of us did not want to go to downtown Orlando. I guess Orlando is pretty crime stricken.
Yeah.
So we weren't thrilled with the idea of going down there. But once we got down there to that place, it was called Joystick for anybody who's interested. It was really fun to be down there.
Nice.
And hang out. I was wearing so I bought a sweatshirt, and it's a picture of Growlithe, the Pokemon, but he's deadlifting, which it's the exercise deadlift, like where he picks up off the ground with his back. It's him doing that, and some guy who I think was homeless looked at me, and instead of like asking for money, he goes, "Is that a Growlithe sweatshirt?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "God, that's an awesome sweatshirt," and he like high fived me, and like. We didn't get harassed by the homeless man that night. Nice. It was kind of nice. So that was fun. Friday night, the big event happened. We went to Game 1 of the Tampa Bay Lightning, Washington Capitals. Tampa is about an hour and a half from where they live, but because Florida drivers are maybe the worst drivers I've ever seen on the road, it took us 2.5 hours to get there.
Uh-huh.
So bad we saw somebody reversing on the highway.
Oh, that's always a solid plan.
Brilliant idea. So we got there, we hung out outside the arena. The arena's Amalie Arena. So we all kind of hung out, like talked to some locals and stuff like that, everybody in their Lightning stuff. Went into the arena, I got a Braden Point shirt, which I wanted to get a jersey, but jerseys were $280, which is just wild to me how much that is. Because I could go on Fanatics right now and get a Point jersey for like 180, 200. Yeah. So they did that $80 price up for it. So instead I just got the $30 shirt for Point. I was yelling from the crowd, Braden Point was my cousin the whole night.
Nice.
Which was entertaining to me. Nobody asked me about it or anything. But like when he was the starting lineup, I stood up and started clapping, going, "That's my cousin."
Nice.
See if anybody said anything. But the Lightning fans, they're really good. They're awesome. They're really into it. It sucks, though, because the team played so bad that game that their energy was zapped after the first period. And what killed them was Nikita Kucherov got a breakaway and scored on it with like 5 or 6 seconds left in the period. But there's too many men on the ice, so it got called back. There was a penalty. No, Reefer, he isn't actually my cousin. So they got put back into the defensive zone. They were on the penalty kill, and Ovechkin fired a one-timer and scored a goal, down 2-0, like 3 seconds left in the period. And after that, like the crowd had no energy. Even when they scored 2 goals to bring it within 4-2, they didn't really have much. It was disappointing, but it was still really fun to go to. We sat literally maybe 4 rows from the highest seat in there, so there's 4 rows behind us. It was funny though. Our friend Evan Dan, he couldn't get a ticket with us because SeatGeek's kind of a bad site. I know everybody says you should use that, but like for whatever reason they were bundling tickets together for resale and stuff like that. So like it was really difficult to sit with everybody, and 4 of us got to sit together, and Evan kind of is the one that got screwed out of it. So he spent like $300 and sat in the lower bowl.
Nice.
And he said he was 3 rows from the glass.
That's awesome.
So he was in between, like right in between benches, like there.
That's like a once in a lifetime opportunity,
That's why he did it. He's like, whatever, like if I can't enjoy the game with my friends, I might as well just pay this extra money and just kind of sit wherever, like where I want. He said they were awesome. Like when Tampa was playing well in the first period, like people were jumping up and down, hugging each other, like high-fiving each other. He said it was a lot of fun. He said he was taking pictures with everybody.
Nice.
So he had a good time. And then Saturday we went to the beach, Cocoa Beach, Dan. So you've been on there multiple times. We got there at noon, and it was actually the cloudiest day while we were down there. But we still got incredibly sunburnt, which was kind of surprising. Like I know the sun's still, you're still getting UV rays, but like I wouldn't expect to have gotten as burned as bad as I did
Right.
because I got burnt to a crisp. But it was funny. Me and the three, like the rest of us, there's three other males that we all went to the beach together, and like Johnny and his girlfriend, his cousin Corey and his girlfriend and her sister were there. So the women stayed on the beach, but the rest of us went into the water, and it was really funny because we're like jumping through waves and like splashing each other and like giggling,
Nice.
like going throwing water at each other,
That's funny.
like trying to surf on the waves, and they're just sitting on the beach just shaking their head because like we look like a bunch of children.
Yeah. Nice.
But like we were in the water for maybe like 4 or 5 hours while we were there. And
man.
we left at like 8. And honestly, being at the beach for that long and like jumping through the waves and stuff like that was probably the most fun of all the trip. I was really bummed to come back.
Oh yeah.
Really bummed. But the Galoozas are putting a push for me to go to school down there, Dan.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Right.
It's
So I don't know.
it's got to be less miserable there than it is here.
The only thing that would stress me out a lot would be the traffic.
Yeah. What?
I
mean, which school specifically?
That I don't know. I'd have to look for pharmacy programs. If anybody knows any pharmacy programs that are like near the Orlando area,
Probably.
I mean,
I'm sure
let me
there are.
know. I just like I haven't really looked into it yet. I need to because I need to start doing this pretty soon at some point here.
Doesn't Johnny go to UCF?
He does, but they're more of like a business school. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't like driving highways and whatnot to begin with. I'm a good driver, but like I hate having to deal with other people.
Yeah.
So like I get stressed out on highways sometimes, especially when tractor trailers are all around me and stuff like that. So being on those Florida highways, those 6-lane highways with people bombing between lanes, not checking blind spots and stuff like that, like I would have a heart attack.
Yeah, you owe it. If you're a driver on the road, you owe it to everyone else on the road to pay attention to the road.
Please, for the love of God, do that.
Just pay attention to the road. I bet a lot of accidents would not happen if everyone would just pay attention to the road.
Yeah, like if you're on there and some tractor trailer driver, and this has happened, like isn't paying attention, is tired, something, and doesn't check his blind spot with a car coming alongside of him, that car's dead.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's terrifying to me. So, that's the only thing that would stress me out about the whole situation of going to school down there. But, honestly, I think it would be cool to go to a Florida school.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Anywhere but here, right?
Well, the thing is a lot of families here.
Yeah,
that's the
but
only.
it's not worth it. It's really not. Honestly, I think before too long, the rest of us are gonna expatriate out of here, out of upstate New York.
That leaves mom and dad.
I don't think mom and dad want to stay here either. I really don't.
Oh no, they definitely don't. But it would. I know. I see. If I went to them and said I might go to school in Florida, Dad would be the first one to be like, "Yeah, do it."
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, we're gonna be out of here at some point too.
Yeah, I
So,
mean,
then mom and dad
already across the continent.
Mom and dad will have to move in with Corey.
I wonder what Corey and Sophie end up doing.
I have no idea.
They'll be the ones that hang around the longest. That'd be funny.
Probably, because I know his girlfriend has a huge family up there. So
Yeah, I don't know. Like I just look at the thing that worries me is paying like extra tuition to like live on campus, like at another school.
Yeah.
Like that's not worth it to me. But if I can actually just like stay in the Winter Springs area with another family for however long, like pay rent and whatnot, like that seems way better of an idea than paying. And you know what? I was looking at UCF's tuition. Your in-state tuition is the same as SUNY Broom's.
Really?
Which, yeah, it
Wow.
blew my mind when I saw that.
Well, I mean, everything here's unreasonably expensive.
Actually, you know what? It's cheaper than Broome.
Yeah.
And I pay Broom out of pocket myself. I think my friend who pays, and I don't think he has scholarship, says he pays 2,500,
Wow.
and Broom's almost 3,000 now. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So
Anywho.
I don't know. I have things to think about, but it was a lot of fun. I was bummed to come back. I start my internship next week, so I'll be busy with work, but I'll have a lot less school to deal with, so I won't be doing school work and everything else.
More time to game.
God, I'm hoping. I'll be in Rochester Sunday night, so I'm gonna bring my Switch.
Nice.
Hyrule Warriors. This reminds me, should I get Hyrule Warriors digitally?
That depends on if you want to trade it in. Do you have the... Wait, what day does it come out?
Tonight.
It comes out midnight?
Yeah.
It's probably too... You won't get it on the through Amazon in time because you get the discount through Amazon Prime.
Well, I was saying to myself, I was like, I'll just get it at GameStop tomorrow because I'm going to be in town all day for all of my finals. And
Yeah.
I was like, why would I do that when I could just get it digitally for the same price? But
Yeah, you could do that.
I could. If it comes Saturday, I could do that.
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't had much luck with that, Will.
Nope. 59.90 or yeah, 59.88.
Well, are you logged in with Mom's account?
I have my own Prime.
Oh, Student Prime?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
I think once you add it to your cart, then it's 48, and it comes to 51 with tax.
40 Prime savings, 47.99 at checkout.
Yeah, and then it comes to 51 something with tax. To me, that's worth it if you can get it by, like you said, Saturday. Because then you have it to trade in if you ever want to trade it in. You can recoup that $51 instead of... It's with tax, it's like 64 something if you bought it from the eShop.
So unfortunately, if with 1 day shipping, which bumps up to 56, it'll get here Monday.
Oh yeah, so that's not an option.
I mean, I could just wait, but I don't like doing that.
Yeah, especially if you want to take it with you. All right, anything else for your week, Will?
Nah, that's it.
All right, I got a couple quick things. So first, I wanted to do a little complaining about Spectrum Internet.
Ooh, my favorite.
Well, I appreciate the speed increases we've gotten since it's been Spectrum because they've been significant. It's not good speeds, but it's a lot better. For the most part, when I've had internet here, it was 15 megabytes down, 1 up. I upgraded so I was getting 30 down and 5 up with Time Warner. Before they switched over to Spectrum. So since Spectrum came here, my speeds have since been bumped up to 100 megabytes down and 10 megabytes up. But especially the past week or week and a half, the internet drops out for half an hour at random times. And it's happened probably 6, 8, 10 times in the past week and a half. And it drives me crazy because, my kids always have a TV on with something on it, streaming on it. Even if they're not watching it, like it's still on. But the second the TV goes off, they get upset that their show's not on.
Yeah.
I do the whole power cycle the modem and the router, and I've got to do that like 4 or 5 times, and then it'll finally come back on after like half an hour. It's ridiculous. When I had Time Warner, yeah, the speeds were slow, but at least it was reliable. I think I had a period of like a year where it didn't drop at all, and this happens, I would say, probably once a day. It drops out for at least 10 minutes.
So we actually have the same issue, like clockwork, around this time every night. It goes down.
Yeah.
Maybe a little later, like 11, but it always goes down, and I for the life of me can't figure out why.
I don't know if they're updating stuff, but maybe do that less frequently. Do it once a week instead of every night. Like, it's crazy.
I'm trying not to complain because not too long ago we had no internet for about a week.
Yeah.
And that was the most trying time in my life.
Oh God.
So like, I don't want to complain, but at the same time, get it together.
Absolutely.
I don't know what's going on. And it's not the modem, because everything when I've called to complain, the modem is getting the internet. It's something else that's going on.
Yeah.
And we just redid everything with our router, so it's not that. I don't know.
Couldn't tell you. So there's that. I just wanted to complain a little bit about Spectrum. And then my last one, I have a bold E3 prediction.
Okay, let's hear it.
Hear me out. So I think that Nintendo is going to announce the Steam Link app coming to the Switch. Here's my reasoning for that. So I think I talked about it before, but there was supposed to be an app called Rainway released on the Switch, which is supposed to essentially do the same thing. Stream your Steam library from your gaming PC to the Switch. That some people think that they just use that for publicity. The company has kind of been mum on details about it, but I'm wondering if they knew, like Nintendo knew that the Steam Link app was coming and they were going to have it on the system. So the Steam Link app is coming to iOS and Android next week. That was announced like 2 weeks ago or last week or something. So it is coming to mobile devices. But the interesting thing for me was that Steam added Nintendo Switch Pro controller support to Steam. So that makes me wonder if that also it means the Joy-Cons will work natively in Steam, which would be useful if you're going to be playing Steam games on your Switch. So
yes, definitely.
That is my bold E3 prediction for Nintendo. It's mostly wishful thinking, but I don't know. It could happen.
Wow. That would honestly kind of blow my mind. That's kind of what Valve's been doing. You know?
You never know. They will surprise you with things. But it makes sense for Nintendo because, if someone has a gaming PC, they could buy a Switch to play it anywhere in their house. That's good for Nintendo because they can, those people aren't just going to play Steam games on their Switch. They're going to get the first-party titles that you can't get anywhere else. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. It's plausible. Not likely, but plausible.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like Nintendo's doing a lot with this console. So I would not be surprised to see that happen, Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be cool. I would definitely use that feature. It's got to be connected to a 5 gigahertz band, which is fine because the Switch actually when I first got it, and especially with Mario Kart 8, I was having a lot of connectivity issues. But once I switched over permanently to the 5 gigahertz band, that erased all my connection issues with the Switch. So, yeah, there's that. Okay, let's get into what we played. Did you play anything, Will?
No, honestly,
Nothing.
I've been watching. No, never mind. I'm not gonna get into Dragon Ball Z.
Okay. So I played more Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I played more Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle 2. I won't get into that. That game's still awesome. But Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze gets better the more I play it.
Really?
It's just the way you interact with the environments in the game is unlike any other platform I feel like I've played. The animations and stuff are so creative and so beautiful and colorful. It's a work of art, that game, let me tell you.
I really want to play it.
Yeah, you can borrow it. Just the way things interact with each other and the way the Donkey Kong and Dixie or Diddy Kong interact with the environment and grapple on stuff, and it's just so good. It's so good. So, yeah, I can't recommend that game enough.
The way you and Val talked about it really convinced me to want to play it because it sounded really awesome. It sounded like one of the better platforms to have come out, and I think it's kind of an underrated platformer.
Yeah, because it didn't get a lot of publicity on Switch, or I'm sorry, on the Wii U, because the Wii U didn't sell that well. So I'm glad the game is getting second lease on life on the Switch because it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like a lot of these games are getting their second lease on life.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a Xenoblade Chronicles X announcement because that's one I want to revisit.
Definitely.
So I could get it again on the Wii U, but I would rather just have it on the Switch. Maybe they can up the frame rate or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I played. Like I said, I very briefly played the Dragon Ball. I don't even know what officially it's called, but it's.
I think it's Legends, because I think I know what you're talking about. I just didn't know this was coming out already.
Yeah. Oh, I do have one more thing to talk about.
What?
I won HQ last night.
That's right. You did win. That's crazy, Dan.
Yeah, I was just, going along as usual. I usually get out at question 6 or 7. How they like to throw in trick questions. That's usually what I get. What I get knocked. It's Dragon Ball Legends. That's what it is.
Okay.
And it's like a fighting game. And you tap on the thing to use your powers, and you swipe to move around and stuff. It's interesting. I haven't played it enough to talk about it, but so people are aware of its existence. I wanted to mention it. But yeah, HQ. So I only had 2 questions that were complete and utter guesses. The rest were educated guesses.
Yeah.
So where I could eliminate one answer and pick, fairly decently out of the 2 options. But yeah, unfortunately, I only ended up winning 26 cents because there was a lot of other winners. They need to up the prize pool.
Yeah, they do.
But again, even if they doubled the prize pool there, I would have won 52 cents. But it's okay. It's an accomplishment that I'm happy about. So
you're the first person I know that's won.
yeah. So that was cool. It was neat to. My wife came within one, or she got out on the last question. It was like a month ago, maybe.
Yeah.
She got out. Eliminated on the last question. So. Yeah, good times. It's kind of a ritual for us. We play it at night. Our goal is to have all the kids in bed by 9:00 at the latest.
For HQ.
So that's kind of when we kick off our night, where we have some free time to watch something or play video games or what have you. So that's all I played. Let's get into feedback, shall we?
Let's do it. Dan, I got a quick question for you.
Let's hear it.
So, I've recently started collecting. This is what I was going to bring out with Dragon Ball Z, but I can tie this into a discussion quick. Dragon Ball Z Kai is the cut version where they cut out filler to make it more manageable for people who don't want to watch 600 episodes of anime.
Okay.
Is there any way, when I have all of the collection, at some point you decide you'll watch Dragon Ball Z Kai?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
I've been wanting to watch it again. I just haven't. I don't watch things all that often, and if I do watch things, it's stuff I've watched a million times already, like The Office and Futurama, and I've watched Game of Thrones probably like 4 or 5 times. It's the same with movies. I have yet to see. I think that's the difference with me and you, Will, and Eric and Corey. Is Eric and Corey like watching movies and like watching TV shows and stuff, and that's where a lot of their free time goes. And we don't have that problem. We don't watch things other than sports. Sports you can watch casually. You can play video games while you're watching sports. So, but yes, I do want to rewatch Dragon Ball Z at some point.
Okay, so when there's 7 total Blu-rays. I have 3 of them. I need 4 more. Reefer says straight up Kai is the only way to watch DBZ now, in my opinion. As soon as I have all of them, Reefer, I'm going to watch them and kind of judge which one I like more. But I will say, Dan, you and I are more along the lines of, if we're going to watch something, it's going to be something we've seen. It's going to be The Office, like Game of Thrones. Mine's Dragon Ball Z. Like, I'm going to watch that stuff instead.
I'm just afraid because I feel like when I'm not playing games, I'm wasting my time, and if I end up watching something that I don't really like, it just feels like a complete waste of time for me. So I'm very, very picky about new shows and movies. Like, I have not seen the latest Star Wars movie yet. It's going to happen in the next couple weeks here, but I want to see it. I'm a Star Wars fan, so.
I actually did watch a movie this week.
What'd you watch?
The Week Of, by Adam Sandler movie.
Oh yeah, okay.
All I'll say is I laughed my way through that whole movie. I liked it. It's not a bad Adam Sandler movie. If it's an Adam Sandler movie, on his scale, it's a good Adam Sandler movie.
Okay.
Really funny. I laughed my whole way through it. But go ahead, Dan.
All right, feedback. So the first one is from Alex, who says, Ryan says, did this happen on company property? Michael Scott says, it was on company property with company property. Double Jeopardy, we're good. Wait, my phone cut off the email. So Double Jeopardy, we're fine. Ryan says, I don't think you understand how Jeopardy works. Michael Scott says, oh, I'm sorry. What is we're fine? Great line.
That was the fun run episode.
Yes, it was. So he says, hey guys, it was exciting to hear Val on the podcast. Maybe she can make up for the two slackers who have life to deal with and not video games. Hopefully Will had fun and a good amount of relaxation in Florida away from the cold. I just read that June 29th will be the US release for the NES Classic, so that's cool. I didn't really see much in that lineup for me. The only games I played on NES were Mario Brothers Track and Field with Footpad and Captain Skyhawk. On to this week's topic, I like the idea of Frostpunk and the idea around survival in a freezing world. How does it feel to live in a similar setting for most of the year? Have a good one, and thanks for the weekly updates. As I said earlier in the episode, definitely plan on having Val on more. I want to get her thoughts on some of the games that we play that, like I said, would be out of her comfort zone. And she listens enough that she knows how conversations go and how the format is. So it was an easy fill-in for her. She did great. Fun and relaxation. Will, you talked about Florida. Good stuff. You NES Classic. Yeah, I mean, a lot of those games don't even hold up all that well. But I'm mostly getting it to play the games like the old Mario Brothers games. I really feel like you need to have the actual controller to play it on. I felt that way with Super Mario World because we can play it on the Wii U. It's on the Virtual Console on the Wii U, but it's just not the same as playing it with the actual controller that you played with back in the day. Especially the old Nintendo games, just the way the buttons are set up, it just makes it so much easier to play. So playing with the old controller, definitely the way to go. But yeah, like a lot of the NES games don't necessarily hold up as well, whereas I think the SNES games hold up a lot better.
Definitely, yeah.
To today's standards than NES games. But I do want to play the old Marios, and there's a few others on there that I would want to try just for nostalgia's sake. Frostpunk. How does it feel to live in a similar setting for most of the year? We kind of touched on that already, too.
Good dig.
The winter's miserable.
Yeah.
And it just gets more miserable by the year. Even my kids now are like, I don't want to live somewhere where it's going to snow anymore. Yeah. And we're like, neither do we.
I've been the winter defendant for most of my life, but this year really broke me. 8 months of winter, or 7, however, more than half the year.
Yeah.
We had no spring, Dan.
No, it went right from winter to summer. It went from summer right to winter too. I don't know if you remember last fall, it was really hot up until probably late October.
Yeah.
And then it went right to being frigid. Yeah. And it was frigid for 6 months or whatever it was, and then it went right to being hot again.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad it's hot, but your body, we need to us Northerners need to adjust. We need to have a smoother transition into temperature changes. Because our blood it kind of thickens over the winter, and then when it gets hot in the 70s, we feel like we should just not be wearing anything. Once it gets 50 degrees, everyone's wearing shorts and t-shirts and tank tops, and it's not that warm, but to us Northerners it is.
Do you when you were younger, Dan? You distinctly remember the 4 seasons, right?
Yeah, more so than now.
It's weird now. I remember them very vividly, but now because I remember I used to hate spring because it was wet and gross out.
Yeah.
But this year it was. I remember 2 days where it was kind of wet and gross out, and then it was just summer.
Yeah. See, my seasons love and hate of seasons is all based around school. I still have that I've carried with me all these years. So I loved spring because spring meant school is going to be over soon.
Yeah.
Summer obviously was my favorite season because there was no school in the summer.
Yeah.
Fall was miserable because that's when school started again.
And you also had to mulch leaves.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was later in my later years. Fall and winter were miserable because, fall was the beginning of school and winter was in the thick of school.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You did hate school more than the rest of us.
God, it was a nightmare. I still, like, when I go pick up my kids from school, I get the shakes a little bit.
Cold sweat.
Yeah, just being in and around schools, I just hate it.
The school system really failed you.
It didn't fail me. It scarred me for life.
Yeah, I guess scarring is the better way to put it.
Yes, scarred. So that was from Alex. Thanks, Alex. Always love the Office quotes from Alex. That's good stuff.
It's our Thumbstick Athletes' favorite show.
Yeah. And it's funny because we go back and forth through the seasons. We'll watch it like, whatever, 2 or 3 episodes or whatever before bed. But a lot of the newer ones I hadn't seen or skipped over for whatever reason. And last night we just watched the one where they're in Florida. and Kathy tries to seduce Jim in his hotel room.
Yeah.
And him and Dwight kind of protect each other from the girls that are after them. It's so good.
The smug bedbug.
Yeah. It's so good.
Do you remember when Stanley was coming back to Scranton and he was on the shuttle and Jim tried talking to him and he said, "Leave me alone," with his smug on?
No. I missed a lot of the newer stuff.
When you see that episode, that's how I was coming back to New York.
Oh, okay.
I wanted nobody to talk to me.
Nice. Okay. Let me change the video in the stream real quick. What do we want to put on, Will? Sorry for those listening through iTunes.
Throw some BattleTech on.
BattleTech.
We have a request to do an episode on that, Dan.
Definitely. BattleTech. Okay, I'm gonna skip through the intro because I don't want to spoil it for myself.
Oh yeah,
but that's definitely one we will do an episode on. Oh, this is okay. There we go. All right, so BattleTech. All right, so this is from Reefer, who says, "Hey guys, typing this up real quick at the end of my workday. Will, I'm really sorry your first game down at Emily was such a stinker. Glad you got to check out the area, though. Tampa has really turned into a hockey town. For whatever it's worth, if the Bolts win Game 4 tonight, bring the series back even, I want both you and Dan to personally apologize for picking the Capitals to win it after just a game and a half. This is like the Devils series all over again. How many times do the Bolts have to get to the Eastern Conference Finals in an 8-year span for you crazy Northerners to take them seriously? Is it 5? Because they've gone 4 times in the last 8 years. I expect this behavior from the team jumping Will, who couldn't even stick by the Rangers when they were just a game away from the Stanley Cup final a mere 3 years ago. But you, Dan, I'm hurt. Of course, as you're reading this, we could easily be down in the game tonight, but my point stands. Never give up, never surrender. I kid because I love." On this day in 1536, George Boleyn and the second Viscount of Rochford and 4 other men are executed for treason, the same day that Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn's marriage is annulled. In 1792, the New York Stock Exchange was formed. In 1875, Aristides wins the first Kentucky Derby. In 1954, United States Supreme Court delivered a vital blow against systemic racism by handing down a unanimous decision in Brown versus Board of Education in Topeka, Kansas. And in 2004, the first legal same-sex marriages are performed in the United States in the state of Massachusetts. Never would have guessed that was in Massachusetts. Love you guys. Fuck Ovi. Haven't Russians had a good enough year in DC without the Capitals performing well? And Frostpunk was pretty good. That's my in-depth review. Okay, good stuff. Did we pick the Capitals? I felt like because I know I had picked the Tampa, but did I ultimately pick the Capitals? I don't remember. It's possible.
Yeah, I think we both picked
Okay.
Washington
because of the momentum.
I will say I loved Tampa, Reefer. I thought it was a great area, and they are good hockey fans. And I explained to him in the chat earlier today because he said he gave it to me in the in the feedback. But
Sure.
What I've been doing this playoff is because I've been having a hard time predicting it. I've been picking the teams that I don't want to win the series to win the series.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done that with Vegas every round, and I did it with Tampa. I want a Vegas Tampa final because I think that would be bad for the NHL ratings, maybe, but good for the game.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's what I want. Yeah, that's my piece on it.
I'm just bad at predicting. I told Will that I used up all my prediction juju picking the Capitals to beat the Penguins. So that's it. I'm going to get the rest of them wrong. I've picked against Vegas every single round, and they're up 2-1 against Winnipeg now. Never would have guessed that. I'm just bad at predicting.
Pretty sure we scoffed and said, it's 5.
5 games. Yep, 5 games. Winnipeg's just going to wipe the floor with them.
Sure.
Well, guess what? That is not the case.
I will say,
so
though, that Game 4 for both series is going to really dictate the way the series goes. I don't think if like Vegas goes up 3-1, I don't think Winnipeg is done necessarily, and I don't think if Washington goes up 3-1, Tampa's done, but it's really tough to win 3 straight. But, with Tampa, they're so good that they can do it. So
yeah. It's really hard anymore because I feel like the teams that are left are just so deep that any one of them could get it done,
Yeah.
Even if you're down 3-1, I feel like any of those teams can do it, They've all got good enough goaltending. They've all got good enough depth, speed. Like, it's anything's possible.
This playoff has also proven to me that game-to-game momentum isn't a thing.
Yeah, no. It's been a terrible, terrible playoffs to try and read.
Yeah.
I feel like, at least for me. And it's hard. It's hard to predict.
It really is.
Home teams losing a lot.
The only one that's won at home is Vegas.
Vegas, yeah, they're 6-1 at home in the playoffs. So that's the only team that's won consistently at home. So
that team, man.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I know last game particularly Fleury stole it. I didn't watch, but I read.
Well, what happened was Vegas outplayed them pretty heavily for 2 periods, and then in the third period, Winnipeg's like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
and they threw, I think, 17 shots on goal on them in the third or something insane.
Wow.
So it was one of those, like, panic efforts by Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm.
But Fleury's going to 3-peat, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, that'd be crazy if he did.
Yeah, 2 different teams.
Cup and one.
Yep.
Seeming like it's more and more plausible. So
Winnipeg in 6.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's it for feedback. So thanks Reefer and Alex. We're gonna do our game giveaway here.
Dose, right?
Sorry, what?
Dose or people writing in? 2 people?
Yes, 2. Yep. Sorry. I had a little brain fart there.
I also tried to meld languages. The winner is number 1.
Number 1.
That is what, Alex?
That's Alex, yep.
Schmalix, okay. Let's see here. All the games. God dang it, Dan.
What?
All the games got separated again.
Oh, I just fixed it.
2 different.
Hang on.
Why do we have all the issues?
I don't know what's the dealio with that.
Probably me being dumb.
Bookmarks toolbar. Where is it? I'm looking on my phone. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing this.
All right. How are they split?
So it goes from 1 to 76, and then 1 to 98.
Oh, I literally just fixed that. I will yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You first.
We'll just add 76 or subtract 76 from whatever the number is, or add.
Oh God. Oh man, math. Okay, 76 to 98. I have handy dandy.
No, do 76 plus 98.
Yes.
That's what you want to do.
Right? Isn't that what we're doing?
Yep.
174. Woo!
So 174. So it'd be the second from last game on the list.
So, not only are you going to get a free game, but you're also going to get a math lesson tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. 39 is the first game. 39. And that
39.
is Lethal League.
Lethal League. Okay.
Okay, let's see. Alex won. I have to write Alex winning before I forget Alex. And the first game is the Lethal League paste. Boom. Okay, next. 162, Dan. 162. Now
So that would be... Hang on. I just lost the calculator. So what would we have? 174?
Yes.
174 minus... What was the number?
162.
Or do I want to subtract? 162 was the game?
The game is Puzzle Agent 2.
Puzzle Agent 2. Okay. Glad you figured it out.
I'm in the thick of trig right now, so.
Okay. Puzzle Agent 2.
Puzzle Agent 2. Boom. Next. 58 is the next one, and that is Chariot.
Chariot. Not familiar.
I want to say that this was a free game on Xbox at some point.
Okay.
Oh, God. 112, Dan.
Oh, okay. So it would be...
30...
Yeah, it would be 112 minus 76. So it would be 36 on the second list.
Sanctum 2.
Sanctum 2?
Yep.
Okay.
And one more roll here. 23. Wow, that was a kind ending roll.
Yeah, straight up 23.
Dark Heritage, Guardians of Hope.
Okay, not a great list.
Yeah, sorry, Alex.
Yeah.
So, Alex, your games are Lethal League, Puzzle Agent 2, Chariot, Sanctum 2, Dark Heritage, Guardians of Hope. Did Jake get his Strong Bad's cool game for attractive people?
Yes, you can remove that. I'm pretty sure I took it off the list. I sent out most of the games. Jake has set selection that he's got to pick from.
Yes, he does. Reyes, the Banner Saga, Galaxy, Stronghold Crusaders 2, Mythic Wonders, the Philosopher's Stone. Jake actually said he had feedback written out but forgot to hit send. And he says his next couple of weeks are crazy with his son graduating and leaving for base. And good luck to your son, by the way.
Yeah. That's cool.
We wish him the best of luck. And yeah, whenever you can tune back in.
Yeah, you can send it and we'll read it next week if you want. It's no biggie. I'd read it now, but we got to end the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, any other thoughts, Will?
No, really, got nothing.
Okay.
Excited for some Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, I'll email Alex with the games choices so he can pick from there. I'll wait till tomorrow, so hopefully he listens to the episode first and is surprised by his win instead of just getting an email from us tonight with it. So I've been real quick. I've been kind of tinkering with our stream settings and stuff. I'm using a new streaming client. I got it so that we get notifications now when we have a new follower or Twitch subscriptions. So yeah, if you have an Amazon Prime account and also a Twitch account, you can connect those two and you get a free subscription with Twitch Prime. You can use that to subscribe to our channel with Twitch Prime. We are going to figure out subscriber benefits. Yes, I am streaming after, definitely. Okay. I haven't figured out what I'm going to stream, but I'm definitely going to stream something. But yeah, if you want to help out the podcast without even spending a dime, you can just link your I keep meaning to post it on Twitter to link your Twitch account with your Amazon Prime account and use your free subscription. Yeah, that helps us without, like I said, needing to spend a dime, which is always the best way to do it. So, I think that's everything, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, like I said, me and Will are going to figure out subscriber benefits. We haven't quite. I want to do maybe a second game giveaway for subscribers. Maybe at the end of an episode, I'll read off the subscriber lists. But don't feel like you need to subscribe if you don't want to. That's fine. It's not going to change anything for us. It just helps us.
Yep.
So that'll do it for episode 356 of the Thumbstick Athletes Podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
I'm Will. Corey.
Thanks for listening, and get out of my basement. Dunsky.
All
Okay.
right.
I guess I can close this now. Figure out what I'm going to play here.